Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I love this show. I'm a sucker for witches, so I'm like, ate this up. I was wondering if we could start with you, Siena, because Domino is such an interesting character. She balances so much on her plate. What intrigued you about this role?
I just really empathized with her the minute I read it. I was like, the first episode for me as well also just felt so human, and it doesn't, the supernatural stuff I kind of didn't really focus on because everything she goes through is so human and so steeped in reality, and just a really lonely young woman trying to figure things out and trying to find a community and trying to find an answer to how to love herself better and how to accept herself. That I was like, I just really related to that. So yeah, I just felt so much empathy for her that I really wanted to play her. I wanted to look after her. I'm so nice.
I just want to give her a big hug.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I was going to be like, baby.
There's
Have a nap.
There's
There's a lot of
wearing those
scenes.
outfits in the winter in Manchester.
I know.
Baby.
There's loads of
It's a
scenes
real
where you
vibe.
just, like, it's a lot stressful for her. Yeah.
It is. It's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love is some of the magic feels very like steeped in our own mythology and history of the world. Did you do much research into where her like gifts came from? Or?
Well, I asked Lauren about. Lauren's the writer. I asked Lauren about the. Can I say what type of witch Domino is? Is that a spoiler?
Maybe try not to say on the
I asked Lauren about the type of witch that she is, because that is steeped in some sort of mythology. Because when I did a very quick Google search of it, there was really not much detail about it at all. And we've kind of done our own thing with it. So I kind of just allowed myself the freedom to not try and focus on that and focus more on the human things to her, what makes her human and real, instead of focusing on the mythology of it, because there's so many different versions of that type of witch that actually did allow us a lot of freedom to kind of interpret it with however we really wanted to. So yeah, I didn't have to. Did you?
Yeah, so much. So much. I've got notebooks at home.
Actually, I did buy a massive book of witchcraft, like a Taschen.
My character has magic, and I don't want to give too much away, but it's maybe not the strongest. And his particular brand of magic, I did do some research into, but I don't want to give too much away. My character only comes in like episode 3, really, so I don't want to just sort of mess it up. But I definitely did. I looked at more of the idea of if magic is just technology we don't understand, then what form does my magic take in that? And let's say I can convince people of stuff. Like, let's say I could make them do what I told them to. Is that not just being super charming? Like, is that not just using words effectively as spells to make people do what you want?
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I sort of, I try to look at it less like magic and more look at it like processes in the world we don't understand yet but work for us.
And as a somewhat antagonist, I guess you have to look into like narcissistic manipulative behaviour.
Yeah, which is interesting because it's sort of
like,
it's
why'd
that.
you say that?
I'm right here. Because it is like, I think his whole thing is power. Whereas for other people, you need that balance of love and power. But you know, the more you focus on power as your end goal, because it's a thing with no limit, you never truly are satisfied. So I guess that helps sort of, then it will then breed it and make you then even more searching for the power. So it's tricky.
Yeah. And as Leon, one of the nice guys in this show, and a human, why is he entrenched so much and like entranced by Domino in the first place?
Yeah, I feel like when I first was reading the script, it was more just seeing their dynamic and just like, I think Leon helps to ground Domino in aspects, and also I feel like he sees himself in elements as well, just in terms of, again, just their history, and I guess we explore that in the show and stuff, but just the more the relationship continues is the more that they find that they actually are quite similar, or similar interests anyway. And I think there's a different side that we see of Domino as well, especially when she's in the company of Leon, and it's obviously, it kind of builds and other things sort of take place, but it was all, it's nice sometimes for my character not being a part of like the magic per se, because also when I'm watching it, I get to watch it as a viewer, but also just I'm sort of the person that's watching this from the outside perspective really, and he's coming to terms with what's happening really. But yeah, I'm just Leon the barman.
You had great chemistry. That first scene in the opening episode was so good. Was that like an immediate chemistry? Did you were just like, yes?
I would say
we had to work really hard.
I got the role. I mean, I can say that, right? I got the role like maybe 2 weeks. I think it was before shooting.
Yeah.
So it was. I was kind of like thrown into the process, but then very quickly we had like rehearsal time. We had the read-throughs and stuff. But just
we never chemistry read. Our chemistry read with Sam.
Yeah.
But when you walked in, I was like, oh, that looks like Silas.
Oh, nice. Thanks for the job.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Did I look like Leon?
No. No, but also Leon is like the fantasy man, which is interesting because he's not magical. But he is the fantasy, right? For Domino of like this perfect person that she doesn't know if she can have or not because of magic.
But I would say even just working with everyone, like all of us on set and stuff, like I think we're all like really collaborative, and I think that brings the chemistry as well back on screen. So
we were allowed, us two especially, we were at a lot of freedom in our scenes to they just wouldn't yell cut, so then we would pretty much every time we did a take, they just let us ramble on for ages and not yell cut. So I think that helped get like a rhythm between us.
Yeah, very quickly.
One of the things that I really like about magical shows is what you do with your hands when you're doing the power. Like, I'm just obsessed with how that comes into fruition. And I just wanted to know if the choreography on you, especially because you've got some really great back work as well included. How did you decide on what Domino's going to do with the magic?
I think we knew we wanted the feeds to be aggressive and slightly violent and very powerful, but we wanted it to, I also wanted it to be a bit like weird. So, and I think Eva, our first plot director, also wanted it to be a little bit strange as well. So that she had the image of all of the arms doing this weird stuff, which I loved until I had to do it take after take after take, like loads of times. Because also with the feeds, we're not right close to each other. We're far apart, so actually my core strength is so strong. But it was really tiring doing all that. But don't do much with my hands actually. Do I?
No, I think
do my
hands.
No, with the feet.
Yeah.
But other magic. You're more of a handsy.
I'm more of a handsy. That's me. Handsy Silas.
You're more of a handsy, honey.
Yeah. I think because
you're handsy because you're a barman. With lots of tricks.
I still remember you doing when we have our when something happens. When there's something that happens that I've seen in your shots that you look really good when you're just something's happening.
Thank
to
you.
You're looking really good and you work really hard.
Thank you. Are you talking about the bit between
the people that happens and you're all what? Yeah. Really. Cool.
Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you. Very tantalising. Thank you.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for talking with me today. It's a great show. I can't wait to finish the rest of it. I'm really excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey you guys.
Hey